Now at 24/24, the latest 2024 campaign news in the last 24 hours with a sneak peek ahead to the next 24 hours. First up, drama, of course. Tomorrow, the first RNC presidential debate takes place in Milwaukee, and the stage is set, but not without a lot of drama. Last night, the RNC released the official list of candidates that you see on your screen right now, who they have invited to participate in the debate. But the night is under a bit of a cloud of a lawsuit, but I'll get to that in a minute. In the meantime, here are the lucky 8. So what's the drama besides the threat of not one, actually there are 2 lawsuits, or one candidate calling the RNC corrupt? And that's a lot of drama, right? But I'll hold that for a minute, too. First drama, former President Donald Trump, he won't be there. Instead, according to anonymous sources close to Trump, and I know you know how I feel about anonymous sources, Trump has already taped a sit-down interview with Tucker Carlson, and it will be released tomorrow night, guess when? During the debate. The Trump-Tucker Carlson sit-down is a collection of snubs. 1, Trump snubs the RNC by not showing up. 2, and with his no-show, Trump snubs Fox News, the host of the debate, and who Trump has been critical of in recent weeks. And then there's the 3rd snub. Tucker Carlson, in an effort to take the wind out of the Fox News debate sails, snubs his former employer that unceremoniously canceled his primetime show in April. But what about radio host Larry Elder or Michigan businessman Perry Johnson? Well, they are looking at being plaintiffs in a lawsuit. Both candidates had announced they hit the polling and donor numbers to participate in the debate, but then no invitation from the RNC to debate. According to both Elder and Johnson, the RNC claimed that both candidates counted a poll that was not valid. So today, they announced their threatened lawsuit. And Elder has more to say. He took to Twitter, tweeting in part, "I intend to sue the RNC to halt Wednesday's presidential debate. I said from the beginning that it appeared the rules of the game were rigged. Little did we know just how rigged it is." End of quote. By the way, to get more inside scoop on this battle, stay right here on Newsmax, because Larry Elder is a guest tonight of my colleague Rob Schmidt right after this show. Now, Johnson, he also released a statement today about his threatened lawsuit. It reads in part, "It's clear that from the beginning, the RNC knew who they wanted on the stage and who they wanted to ban from the stage. Simply put, this is a flawed decision of a poorly run process of a corrupt organization. This morning, I'm working with my team to take legal action against the RNC," end quote. Now, Elder and Johnson are not the only 2024 Republican candidates blasting the RNC. Also today, former Texas Congressman Will Hurd, who was also denied a podium on the debate stage, released this statement that reads in part, "I have said from day one of my candidacy that I will not sign a blood oath to Donald Trump. The biggest difference between me and every single candidate who will be on the debate stage in Milwaukee is that I have never bent the knee to Trump. It is disappointing being kept off the debate stage, but I will not be deterred. The stakes are too high," end of quote. And if that's not enough drama for you, tomorrow the DNC is set to attempt to troll the RNC. A DNC spokesperson confirming they are planning on flying a plane in the Milwaukee skies with a banner reading, quote, "GOP 2024, race for the extreme mega base." Now, that plane will fly around the Forum in Milwaukee where the RNC is holding that first debate. Now, I don't think the DNC came up with that idea first. More likely, they're taking a page out of former President Donald Trump's playbook. Because remember, 2 weekends ago, Trump paid for this plane to fly over Florida Governor Ron DeSantis while he was speaking at the Iowa State Fair. It had a banner that read, quote, "Be likable, Ron. I know you cannot make this stuff up." They may all be stuck in the 7th grade with these banners, but it is quite a drama. Next up, yesterday, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie edited his playbook just a bit. Instead of attacking former President Donald Trump, he is now on the offense against Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Christie took to Twitter, tweeting, quote, "A Florida politician showing he can memorize lines from his consultants. What could possibly go wrong?" End of quote. Now, this tweet was attached to this article with the headline that reads, "DeSantis repeats super PAC's leaked talking point about Chris Christie and how, unlike Christie, DeSantis is, quote, not running to be a contributor on cable news," end quote. And lastly, yesterday, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott went to a conservative event, and who did he bring along with him? His mother. And he told the group how his mother helped shape his view on being a hardworking American.
When I think about living my mama's American dream, a woman who worked 16-hour days as a nurse's aide, changing bedpans and rolling patients. She's the person who taught me there's dignity in all work. And in America, if you can work, get busy. She taught me that if you're able-bodied, you work.
Politico White House and Washington reporter Daniel Lippman joins me. Okay, Daniel.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Tomorrow night.
Yes.
What do you think?
I'm excited. I'm going to be watching to see if DeSantis can overturn his previous reputation of not being the best debater, because this is really sink or swim for him, because a lot of those Republican donors who had been hot on him before, they've seen the last few months of his campaign and they are not liking what they're seeing, and they may want to switch horses and find someone who actually can do better, maybe like Ramaswamy or Glenn Youngkin if he ever gets into the race to defeat Trump.
All right, you say Glenn Youngkin, governor of Virginia. Is there a chance he could get into the race? Is it too late for him to get into the race or not?
He would miss some of those early state deadlines, and so I think it would probably be too late, but he's hoping to get into a race if he enters based on, he flips the Virginia state legislature. And so if he doesn't do that in the November midterm elections in Virginia, then he won't go in. But if DeSantis continues his steady slide down, then there might be a lot of people who say, hey, I don't think we want to go with Ramaswamy, Tim Scott, Nikki Haley aren't catching fire, so let's look for someone who is a proven winner in a blue/purple state in Virginia.
I'd love to be the fly on the wall for all these campaigns as they all discussed with their candidates for tomorrow night what to do about President Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump. I anticipate that there'll be some video that Fox will show the candidates. I mean, I don't think he'll be totally absent. I think he'll be very much a talking point.
I think you're totally right that a lot of these questions are going to be about Trump and his effect on the party. I bet DeSantis is going to be asked about that leaked donor memo and say, hey, you're here now. Are you going to defend Trump? This is your top opponent. But what I think is ironic is that you have a bunch of candidates on the debate stage who are anti-Trump, but they are still polling pretty low, like Chris Christie. And so it's pretty ironic that they're in this race, but they're only helping Trump get this nomination and potentially the presidency, because if the party, if the rest of the party coalesced around someone like DeSantis or one candidate in particular instead of splitting the vote like in 2016, then Trump might not get the nomination.
You know, it's sort of interesting. Some of them, at least Pence and Nikki Haley, worked for him, for Trump.
Yeah, it's often like the people who are closest to you are the ones who defect after a while. And sometimes when I discovered in covering the Trump White House is there were a number of people who worked for Trump and who knew him pretty well that they voted for Biden in 2020. And that you can sometimes see up close, hey, there was so much more chaos. We could have gone to war. We could have, things could have gone off the edge. And so that's why they were you saw all those memoirs too.
But doesn't it flip the other way? I mean, President Biden has gotten, he was in Hawaii, and there's got a lot of criticism for, he talked about himself, at the fire victims, spent an awful lot of time talking about himself. And when he talks about, speaking from the heart, he's reading from a paper. And, it's like, if you're going to be the griever in chief and help the people, probably you should speak from the heart, not read it.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't get notes.
So, so aren't those people, aren't those people, you said that a lot of people Trump people voted for Biden. Do you not see some of the Biden people drifting away from him? And there's no other choice.
Yeah, that's the issue. If we had a competitive Democratic primary with someone like Gavin Newsom or Josh Shapiro from Pennsylvania, then we could see, and I'm sure there would be plenty of Biden administration aides in an administration with 4,000 political appointees who would not be voting for their boss, Joe Biden, and instead be voting for Gavin Newsom. But you just don't have that. Maybe if there was a Chris Christie versus Joe Biden, maybe you'd get a few of them.
I don't know. I do not think that, I said this in the beginning, I do not see President Biden running in November for whatever reason. But I've been saying that. I've been so wrong so far. I've been so wrong so
There's
far.
still time for you to be right,
There's still
though.
time for me to be right. Daniel Lippman, thank you.
Thank you.